Hello, ladies and gentlemen, ConeDay here. Welcome back to the Mindcrack server for the 95th time. Today is January 7th, 2019, which means it is also the day that I have turned 32. 32. That's a number that has a 3 to begin with. But I have decided to celebrate this special occasion by playing Minecraft and recording F1 and streaming Wreckfest. Basically, it's a normal day. It is a completely normal day. And we are going to continue this normal day by working on Cone's garage here in our Cone abode compound. I've been brainstorming this morning on some general design ideas. I think I have a pretty good idea as to what I want the look to be. I've worked out the rest of the floor design. I'm gonna leave these runs here, which will have our lifts, our hoists on them. I'm going to have those on the half slab, but the rest of the floor will be up a layer. The thinking there is, if I don't have the floor at the same level throughout, I'll be less inclined to pack the place full of cars, because you wouldn't want to push a car up this ledge, so you know, you would only have this area to put cars on. Also, it was just kind of the fact that there was no other half slab that I really liked. So that's what we'll be doing today. I also worked out a little bit of a design for the walls slash general look, the outside exterior look. I think I have kind of an idea what I want to go for there. It'll be a little bit more fictional based, which is a little bit weird to say. We're literally playing Minecraft right now. I had 64 more on me anyway. Boop. But yeah, that is a little bit weird to say that part of this is more fictional than the rest. But the exterior will definitely be much more flashy than something I would do in real life. The real life ambition or goal would be a building that looks extremely average from the outside. Almost difficult to tell that it is anything special at all. I did not need nearly that many slabs. But yeah, that's the idea. But I think I have an idea for a design here that would look pretty cool. It would look pretty cool in the Minecraft world. Let's see. This weekend, I actually ventured outside of the house. I know, it's scary. It's weird. It's wacky, and it wasn't even planned. I'm a person that generally likes to plan things. I don't do a lot of things on a whim. I really don't ever like, why is this such a problem for me? I don't really like it when people, surprise me with things. No surprise parties, no surprise trips. That's generally how you put me in a sour mood. But on Friday, a local friend of mine said, hey, we are going to the Meekum car auction on Saturday, and I want you to go. And I don't know why. I don't know what inspired me, but I ended up saying, okay, sure, I'll go. Which meant that I had to get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. Usually my days off, and spent 6 hours total of traveling time. But it was a unique experience. It was something that I've never done before. So I figured, you know what? Why not? Why not? We'll check it out. We'll see what it's like. And it certainly was interesting. So if you don't know, and maybe cars aren't necessarily your thing, the Meekum car auction, it's basically a car auction, just like any other auction, except it's played up like it's almost like a made-for-TV style auction thing, and it's almost essentially set up as a car show. So, you know, there's like general admission. It was $30 to get in just to like walk around and view the cars, which I thought was a little much considering this is an event literally, you know, made for taking buyers and sellers money. But still, they certainly set it up more like a car show and almost more like an attraction than your regular car auctions. Like, car auctions happen every day, all the time, and usually they're scuzzy and almost kind of not in the public eye. It kind of happens behind the scenes. I don't know if a lot of people realize that, like, when you go to trade in your car, it very often does not just get put onto the used car lot. It more often than not goes to auction. That's a pretty common car industry thing. But these are more a spectacle. There's the word I was looking for. And you get, it seems like, at least stateside, these events are very focused on the collector muscle car scene. And rarely, but sometimes it you know, deviates from that a little bit. But mostly, I want to put something special in the middle, which I think. Or do I want to continue this? What would I put in the middle? We would have a layer. We could do a 2-stripe of something special down the middle. But what would I do? Actually, I just thought of a kind of a neat idea. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and floor it in regular style. But yeah, it seemed like if you wanted to see a classic, you know, American car of any year, type, make, or model, it's probably there. It's an extremely big event. They do like 2,500 cars over the course of 10 days. It's rather over the top, in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, it was certainly interesting to check out. I am, at my heart, a car nerd. I really like to see them in person. I really like to, you know, find things that I've never seen before, and just kind of, I don't know, just have a up close and personal experience with different kinds of cars and car engineering than I'm familiar with. And there was a lot of stuff there that I had never seen, so that's what makes it worthwhile to me. But also, it kind of harkened back to that whole "do I need friends" topic, and I don't know, it just seemed like the right thing to do. It seemed like an experience that I would enjoy for the most part, even though it's, you know, super in public and swarmed with people and swarmed with, you know, rich old white guys that gripe and grumble about every non-American car they see. Still, though, there was plenty there for me, and I generally had a good time with it. Having a good time. Yeah, it was very interesting. There was a lot of the cars that I think there's a little bit of a shift happening where people my age are starting to become older and be, you know, less family focused and more, maybe not even retirement, but maybe just getting to the point of their lives where they're starting to look to just kind of have fun. I would like to put some lighting downstairs. I really wish we had a working sea lantern grinder. What are those things called? On the Guardian Farm? Is it called the Guardian Farm? Probably. But I don't think the one here is working, because I love sea lanterns. Especially for like an industrial build. It'd be really cool, but I don't think we have those. What do I have? I need white and orange concrete. Okay, I need a lot more concrete. I have a little bit of sand here. That might be enough to get us through the day, but I'm going to walk over to Brian's desert area and go ahead and get some sand, because I feel like I've been depleting the sand resources around here. Actually, like I was saying, you know, the people my age are getting older and starting to have, you know, fun. Must be nice. That's very unfair of me to say. I do something for a living that is very fun, and I'm sure people would love to be in my position. Just not probably financially. But yeah, it's starting to come around where the kind of cars that I'm interested in, and mostly the kind of cars that I lusted for, and all of my, you know, kind of generation of kids, they were the poster cars, the ones we had hung up on the wall. Starting to see more of those become relevant in these scenes, and not that the muscle car generation's ever going to go away, and not that, you know, I really want it to, right, Puffins? No, Puffins doesn't agree. Puffins hate muscle cars. Yeah, it's not that I want to see that go away, and I enjoy seeing that stuff. You know, that brings back a certain sense of nostalgia for me, and, you know, all the good memories that I have of that kind of car would be through, you know, either my dad or any of the older people that I grew up around, and those were the cars that they loved and, you know, lusted for, so vicariously I also, you know, see the interest in them. But now that, you know, I'm kind of reaching an older age, I have my own generation of cars that I, you know, am interested in. And one thing I really look forward to in my lifetime, hopefully, is seeing a little bit of a shift there where the cars that were cool to me as a kid start to actually be seen as classics and seen as legitimate, because, well, it just seems like in the automotive circles that I'm familiar with, grew up around, it's been the same cars for, we'll say, I would say I have, you know, memories of at least 25 years. Let me, I actually have lots of inventory space. Yeah, I'll be fine. Yeah, in that 25 years, all the same cars. Like, the same cars when I was 10 are the same cars now that it seems like the quote-unquote adults are always looking for. Your Camaros, your Mustangs, your Corvettes, your Chevelles, or the older stuff like the Rat Rods and the T-Buckets, or the old Chevy sedans and the blah 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 blah. All of the classic cars are all kind of the same, and then it all stopped, you know, 1980. Everything 1980 after, well, those aren't classics. And what's interesting there to me is in 1990, we were a lot closer to 1979 than we are, you know, in 2019 to 1985. So it's a little bit weird to me that, you know, a future generation never came along and appreciated the next generation of cars. And it's been very, very slow, but I do think it is generally slowly happening. There's a negative effect in that the prices of all of those kinds of things, of course, then go up. That's a bit of a bummer. But it's at least nice to see people treating them as I don't know, legitimate. Where am I headed? I'm headed the wrong way. I was going to the XP farm. I want to go to Brian's. I wonder if there's any boats. I don't have any wood on me. Maybe there's a boat in here. I see somebody's been in here. Maybe Rice's been doing some work on filling those in. I think his is just down here, though. Is this Brian? Yep. This is where he first started, but it's kind of a desert we've deemed as a sand reserve. I know this is where he got a lot of sand for the guano fill-in project. Oh, it's just coming that time. I think there's a bed here, though. Yeah, let's sleep real quick. So now the other side of that is that there's more to it than just, oh, well, those old folks don't appreciate the classics. There's certainly more to it than that. There's also the fact that, you know, cars kind of stopped being collectible when the production numbers got so great, and when relevancy, you know, stayed greater for longer. So cars weren't quite as disposable in the 90s as they were in the 70s. Things stayed relevant a little bit longer. Not crazy, not insanely longer, but a little bit longer. Let me drop my audio so that it's not ridiculously overwhelming. But yeah, that's there's a part of that that's more than just you know, old curmudgeons not willing to accept the new generation. Like, for example, I love 240SXs. They made, I believe, in total close to 500,000 of them. In the 90s, they were still everywhere. They were still extremely common cars. Way more common than your 60s Camaro. And it's not until recently that they've started to become rare due to, you know, well, drifting, for one. And just over time, cars get used up, and they get crushed, they get crashed, they get rusted, they get blah, 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 blah. The herd gets thinned, and it is the rarity that increases the value. That's the way those kind of markets work, and that's the way they will always work. However, there's so many cars of the 80s and 90s that just weren't respected at all. And actually, even in the 70s, like, a lot of the 70s Japanese cars were considered disposable. Even to the extent of, like, Kurt's Corolla, that was a disposable car. You know, people bought them, they drove them until they died, and then they put them in the junkyard, and they went away. But they made 1 billion of them, and nobody considered, man, we should really be working at, you know, keeping some of these things around, because someday there's not going to be any left. Now that's happened, and now cars like that are considered, to some people, to be collectible and rare. So, yeah, there's more to it than just old people not willing to accept, you know, a new generation of cars. But I still see it, and I still see that attitude of the great American classics are the only relevant cars, and it's frustrating. That's a frustrating part of the automotive industry to me, because typically that's the group of automotive enthusiasts that I'm more kind of in line with. Like, I like the idea of saving and preserving some cars and keeping them going and you know, treating them as if they are members of your family. You know, that's the kind of mentality that people like that have with their cars. In general, tuners do not feel that way. Most of the people that I kind of, you know, grew up with in the 240 community never really treated their cars as much more than a blank canvas. They were just, it was a canvas to express their you know, automotive creativity, and when they were done, the canvas got tossed out, and that was kind of it. Now, as those people are starting to reach the same age that I'm reaching, I definitely see people that are, you know, deeply regretting the fact that they didn't hang on to their cars, and they didn't treat them as something that was important, or important to keep around. Where was I going with that? Where was I going with that? I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, the nice thing to me is that I feel like there's generally a shift towards starting to appreciate a later generation of cars. How much longer do we even have? I don't know. Like, how much longer do we have to even have relevancy in appreciating cars? When will they be actual museum pieces instead of something that we can go out and enjoy? I'm not sure. Which ties into another weird little facet of the automotive world, which is extremely prevalent in the Meekum auction scene, or just the, the collector car auction scene. And that's cars as showpieces rather than cars as transportation. I do like preserving cars. I do like the fact that, say the Supra, I saved it from being crushed in a junkyard somewhere. And I'm glad that I kept it going. But what was important to me is that I kept it going. I wanted it to be on the road. Unfortunately, its owner doesn't really seem to feel that way. But it was important to me to see the thing still get used, still be seen, and still be just kind of showing people, and reminding people of a different era of car. And that's what's cool to me, is keeping the things going and keeping them seen, keeping them on the road, keeping them going. That's the fun. Just collecting cars and having them as showpieces, it's just very different to me, and it's a foreign thing to me. But it's more of like an art collector thing than an automotive enthusiast thing. So there's a little bit of a clash there. There's a little, in the same little circle of enthusiasts, there's a very different idea of what cars are supposed to be, it seems. And I personally side towards the keep them going. You wanna find these cool cars so that you can experience them and that you can enjoy them. I'm 100% not on board with people using cars like that as their daily transportation. Honestly, it's 2019. We need to be taking the environment seriously. We need to be taking, the future of the world seriously. You gotta be responsible. If you're driving every day, be driving with a car with catalytic converters on it and, modern emissions equipment. But I think it can coexist. We can have our cake and eat it too in this regard. Where is this spider at? Meaning that we can enjoy the classics in, small doses when it's appropriate. There is another cave around here somewhere. Now I want to find it. I don't like to have spiders in my basement. Sounds like it's underneath of us, right? It's more this way. There's a couple spiders. I think they're pretty deep in there. We'll find them someday. We'll find them someday. But yeah, you can appreciate the old cars. You can keep them going. You can use them for pleasure without making the big environmental impact. And I think if we, as automotive enthusiasts, oh wait, no, I need some yellow. I don't think I have any yellow. I guess today is going to be a working day or a material gathering day. But yeah, if we can shift the focus towards, appreciating classic cars and towards making it a sustainable thing, then hopefully we can help shift that attitude of down with all the old cars and, cash for clunkers and that stuff. Versus, okay, yes, we appreciate modern technology, and when it comes to daily commuting, and when it comes to, if there are people that literally, and including me at one point, drive more than 500 miles a week. That is, in itself, a really big, I thought I had a bunch of red, a really big, oh, I think I understand those, environmental impact. You are personally making a pretty big impact. So, I understand, and I'm sorry that I got tangented onto this, but it's certainly something that I'm just pretty in tune with, passionate about, and yeah, I appreciate the need to improve our habits in our day-to-day car usage and fuel usage and stuff like that. But hopefully, if we can, I don't know, change people's perspectives on what classic cars are and what they can be, then hopefully we can continue to enjoy classic cars for, another, hopefully 30, 50 years to some degree. What I just don't want to see happen is that it gets down to the point where, because we couldn't have a middle ground, because we fought emissions stuff and fought back so hard on things and let things get so bad. What I hope doesn't happen is that things get steered in a way that it's just like, all right, well, guess what? Now there's a complete public ban on any gasoline-powered vehicles. Not that that would happen tomorrow, but I could see it happening if we continue down the path where we are continuing down of, not particularly taking care of our planet very well. Things could get dire enough that something like that would happen. All of that is a tangent on how much longer do we have to enjoy cars, how much longer do we have to keep things like that going. I don't know that it's the time to be just focusing on, well, which car is going to be the best investment if I keep it locked up and keyed away, because eventually, someday, that's all they're going to be. I don't know that cars will have the same value, which would be weird. I don't know that cars, like, is your split window Corvette still going to be a valuable car when you actually, can't drive it? Is it just going to be an art piece that's still worth a lot of money? I don't really know. I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. This is quite a tangent, but it's things that events like that, venturing out, help me, explore my own brain a little bit. So what I'm getting at is sometimes maybe it's important to get out of the house, okay? I admit it. But all it does is make me overthink things more. Alright, so that got me 16 of these. I already have 10 of those. Oh, perfect amount. And that gives me 32 orange. That might be enough. Because I think it gives you 8 per die. Let me sleep off the night real quick. I'm just going to make a little design here. I'm going to show you generally my design. Sleep. And I think we'll call it a day. So I can go get ready for some birthday bash wreckfest. Looking forward to that. And then... oh yeah, I gotta do F1 too. Forgot about that already. Alright, so let's hop over there and do that. But yeah, it was an interesting experience. I'm glad I went. I'm glad that I convinced myself to go out and do things. Things that I wasn't expecting to do. Hello, Creeper. Could you not, please? Could you not? No. Bad. There's a spider up there somewhere. Okay, so how much? I only have 6 orange right now. Let me make some more. Not a ton of it, but I probably... is this going to give me a stack? That gives me 2 stacks. Oh, well, that's going to be way more than enough. Okay, well, that's good. That's fine. And the basement's actually really good for mixing this. So no mobs down here? Nope, not yet. Yeah, you can just kind of make a couple rows of it. Stack of this. I don't need very much right now. And then do one of these jobbies. And one of these jobbies. And there's no torches down here to wash away at the moment. Okay, this should do it. I don't want to go too crazy. I originally made a design that was, I wanted it to be like the Viper GTSR that I really like with It was going to be all white and then 2 blue stripes all the way around it. And it was a bit much. It was a bit much. So I think what I'm going to do is I am indeed going to use some of the white concrete because it ties back into the cone abode. However, oh wait, we actually don't need that there. Actually, I need a little glass. Well, I'll just give you an idea of what I'm thinking of, and maybe you can tell me I'm crazy. All right, so there, and then I'll put white in there for now. Sure, you can already tell what I'm thinking, but it would be, overall, the building would be this tall plus, oops, I forgot to grab some slabs. So it would be that tall, and then on top, another layer of, I'll make this jump. I could have if I wasn't a fool. I very well could have. Hey! Alright. So, like this. And then this will be the 2 front windows. So I'm going to fill this with probably orange glass in there. And then the middle one's only 4, so there won't be one in the middle, but it would be an orange stripe all the way around the bottom. Another cone here. This will be the front facade of the building, so there will be an entryway here. I don't know exactly what that means, but I think it means probably a big glass, like, entryway is what I'm thinking. So, probably corner structure, but like a very large glass window right here, and then just white concrete around that. Is this tall enough was a question. You know, that actually is pretty tall. And if it were, say it was this tall. I hear skeletons in the basement. Let's say it was that tall. That's not bad, but I think I would want it one taller than that, which is fine. I think I can pull it off because there will be a roof on top of that block. So it would be this high. Okay, I can live with that. And then let me fill in this right here. And then I think we will call it a day here on the Mindcrack server. Just your normal day. Boop. And boop. Let me get an idea of what that looks like. No, yeah, I think that will work. And then I have an idea for the top on how to make like a roll-up door or something like that. All right, cool. I am liking this. I think this is going to be a fun project. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, as always, for watching, and I will see you never, skeleton, but I'll see you all next time.